go straight into our skills training. We've got about 25, 26 minutes. I'm going to share the agenda. Um, so skills training, there's a one-page fact sheet that we are going to go over. And then we're going to we're going to end it in the Metaverse room. So at the very end of this, we're going to all go into the VR room as avatars. So that is something that we're going to do after our, okay. So here is our agenda. So we've got a VR room. I think you all know about the VR room, and we're going to end up there. But we've got this amazing virtual reality room, and Erdem is our fellow. We actually have upgraded his title. Our virtual reality education director at the CoLab, a student from George Mason, grad student in augmented reality. He is going to speak a little bit about the importance of augmented reality and the careers and why it is something that's great for all of you to think about, doing this project. It's great to go on your resume, and he's willing to teach you how to do augmented reality. And he's teaching right now Rania and a few other teens, so we can add you to that group. And so today we're going to talk about the Metaverse Prize, and then we're going to go into the VR room. So, but before actually, I'm going to start with the Metaverse Prize, and then Erdem's going to speak about the importance of this, and then Rania's going to talk about what she's doing with Erdem on the Metaverse Prize, and then we're going to share our VR room and end up in that space. But somewhere in there, we're going to also talk about what your hubs are thinking about, so we can start compiling, and then we're also going to ask each individual that's interested in being on a team through your hubs to register. Because for the Metaverse Prize, each individual registers, and then you register after that as a team. So I went in and registered because the adults are also going to submit. So let's go look right now at the Metaverse Prize as a group, and you can do a link to the Metaverse Prize, which I thought I had in here, but I don't, so I'm going to put it in here. The Metaverse Prize. Okay. There should be a link to our, well, first of all, this is our virtual reality room, which you guys will all be able to go into. And so as you think about the Metaverse Prize, think about what you can do as a project in our virtual reality rooms as a hub. So we're going to go into this, but this is the space that you're going to be working in, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then, sorry, I'm going to go out of all these. We've already done all this. Okay, done that. We've done. You have the teen release form, the legal form. I think I wanted you all to fill that out. Okay, so each channel in Slack, if you can't find it later, should have a link. And by the way, our Spanish hub is active, and I didn't give an update, but they are working on getting their teens in Brianda's school to get involved in that hub. Okay, somewhere in here, if you scroll up in your channel, you'll see here's a one-pager. Okay. So can everybody see this? I hope.
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. So if you can't see it here, you can go into Slack and find it later, but the Metaverse competition is an opportunity to use virtual reality to teach about the SDGs in a fun way. It's global, and the CoLab will be having a number of people submit as a group. So what I envision is we'll have a number of teams. And so what we can do is visit the website, and then if you have questions, you might go to their frequently asked questions page on the website, because their website is very complicated. And that's one way to look at it. So what we're going to do is go to SDG Metaverse Prize, and I'm going to just put this link in the chat, so make sure you get all these. Oh, good. So Erdem put it in. Thank you, Erdem. Okay. So basically, this is for all the SDGs, and they're going to have 37 winners. So you have to think about your team and what you have to pick one of these SDGs to go in to submit for. And I would recommend that we try to have each of our groups do a different SDG, so we're not competing against each other if possible. And then there's 2 categories. There's teens age 14 to 18. I think it's 14 to 18, we can check. And then there's 19 years old and up. So I, Linda Staley, am going to submit for 19 and up. I'm going to submit with Partnership for the Goals, and we're going to submit our entire hub rooms. So it's going to be sort of a collab submission. Okay, what we do at the collab to engage youth on virtual reality using this room. And then what I hope is that different hubs will submit on different things that you want to work on. And maybe under, for example, mental health, it would be under good health and well-being. And I want to go around and hear from all of you what you're thinking. Okay, but what you can do is go to this page, this website. It's extremely complicated. They made it really complicated. And there's all these videos to watch, but if you go to frequently asked questions, it's probably the best place to start because it just sort of walks you through. And I find question number 3, the competition is about bringing to life an SDG. What can you give me some ideas? So here, it sort of gives you some ideas. Your project can be educational, simulations, entertaining, gamification, storytelling, interactive. They don't expect you to solve a problem. What they want you to do is use a virtual reality environment to have fun on an SDG, to learn about it. I think you get the point. So the first thing you do is you fill out this form. I'm interested, and you basically fill out a form. You can go to I want to participate. And so at this point, you basically just fill out a form. And there's some deadlines. There's some prize money. So we will talk about all of that, and register to compete is really where you say, I want to compete. So the first thing you do is register as an individual, and then you register as a team. So for the registration as an individual, it's right down here. This is what I filled out. So basically, you're going to all register as individuals, and I hope you can do that today. You put in your email and just say, you know, I'm definitely planning to participate, and this is my age group 14 to 18, and you know, maybe you're thinking about this with the Climate Hub. You should consult with your hub. And then you fill out this form, and you can always change and edit the form later. They let you do that. And it says where you're from and why you're doing this. It just gives them a sense of all the people that are going to participate. And you submit it. And, you know, I would have them send a copy. So that's what I recommend you do in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Work with your hub so everybody individually submits. And then think about the registration as a team, because there you're going to want to come up with a team name. But at this point, since it's 1:43 and I've spoken a lot, I'm going to turn it over to Erdem, and then we're going to turn to Rania, and then we're going to turn to all of you to tell us what you're thinking. Okay, and then we'll end by all going into the VR space and be avatars in there and talk some more about it. So, Erdem, do you want to talk for a few minutes about why this is? Go ahead.
Hey everyone, so one of the reasons why VR would be kind of useful for you is, well, you could go for the computer science route, which is kind of, you know, far-fetched for now, I guess, because we're doing virtual reality. But one of the best things is that it's a very versatile skill. which whatever your intentions are would be a really useful thing. You know, we're here addressing SDGs, and one of the reasons why the United Nations kind of took this time to make this competition was because virtual reality is a really good medium to kind of you know, show off your work. You know, when the internet was starting off, people were thinking, why do we make websites? And then now most things kind of go off of the internet with websites and things like that. Now virtual reality is the next medium. It's established itself as that, and you know, virtual reality itself is kind of like a 3D representation of a load of the things that we typically do in the internet. And yeah, so you know, a lot of people nowadays, they start coding, and now one of the new things is virtual reality. And good thing is you don't need to do coding. And I can comfortably say that while it might look like a lot virtual reality, it's actually much simpler to learn than it looks. And I'm saying that because I've taught like this as a course to people in your age group. It was a 5-day course, and they were all able to create amazing virtual reality rooms. And yeah, you know, the creating part is going to actually be one of the simpler things, and one of the most enjoyable things for you, I think, will be the kind of creative aspects where you're, you know, sharing something that you're passionate about in this virtual reality room, and you're doing all these designs and cool ideas with like the gamification and like the virtual reality interactive part of it.
Thank you, Erdem. That's great. Okay, Rania, do you want to talk about what you've done and what you're thinking? And maybe you could share your, I don't, you said you couldn't share your picture, right? It doesn't work, your video.
Yeah. But
Okay.
basically, Erdem is a mentor for me and Tanishka, who unfortunately was not able to join, but she's my partner as of right now for this project. And basically, we are thinking of making a VR room based around SDG number 15, which is life on land. And this is mainly based off of my teen stream video, which I made also relating to this SDG goal. And I also won due to my topic over desertification. So we're basically going to make a room based on desertification, but it's going to be based in a classroom setting, and we're going to have avatars at the front board. First of all, talking about desertification, and we're basically going to have them teach people about the process of desertification. And eventually people will be able to walk through this process and see in action the possible solutions. And I also want to simulate desertified land and have them attempt to replenish the soil. I want this to be mainly educational. That's our ulterior goal. And we also want to find a way to show my teen stream video on the front whiteboard as kind of an educational guide, and also like kind of some background into desertification and what my project is about. And we also want to have breakout rooms maybe for teens to help create the solution they choose. And you want to use data analysis and samples to help do this as well. So that is our current stage that we're at right now.
Okay, Ramya, that's fantastic. And so are you learning how to actually make this room with Erdem?
Yeah, I usually ask Erdem a lot of questions about like, because he gives us homework assignments so that we can get familiar with the platform. So I usually ask questions about you know, some of the things that I'm kind of confused on, and he gives me like a really good guides and mentorship. So I'm getting a lot more familiar with this platform.
Fantastic. Great overview, Erdem and Rania. Is there anything more you want to add before we turn to the teens and ask what they're thinking? Okay, so let me just go through each of the hubs. Thank you, Christy. I appreciate it. Really appreciate you coming, Christy. Okay, so let's go through this. And I'll start with Akash and Rajan and Aoife on mental health if you want to share what you're thinking.
Yeah, so we actually had a meeting literally right before this to talk about some of the stuff that we are planning for the Metaverse project. And so obviously it's pretty much, there's not a lot of details, but we're working really hard, and I'm honestly proud of all the work we've done so far. Right now we're thinking about basically creating this like mini game essentially where you would go around you'd have to like pick up keys to like unlock the doors to unlock a door to a final room that would basically contain like something about the global collab and what we're doing in particular to expand on these issues. But we'd also use VR to like basically allow for people to open doors looking for like these hidden keys. And in the process, they'd learn about the issues surrounding mental health. We're thinking about our room simulating a school. And so that way, like it can relate to, like how people in schools often feel lost and unable to find like, their mental, like, I guess it's very hard for students to find mental health, especially in schools. So that'd be something that we thought about. But yeah, we're definitely still thinking about that, and we are definitely excited to see how this will go forward.
Great. Rajan, do you want to add anything?
I don't have too much to add to that. We're just in the opening stages of this. Like you said, we just met an hour ago to talk about this. But yeah, I mean, I think the idea of a scavenger hunt sort of thing, they talk about that in the question 3 that you were referencing, making a game so it's more immersive is a good idea for us, especially.
I love the scavenger hunt idea. And I really love the idea of like you're in school and you're trying to find your tribe or your place where you fit in or a community of support or, where your mental health can be calmed. I think that's like personally something that every person goes through, whether it's, you're in school or you're joining a new job. So anyways, okay, let's move on. Who wants to go next? I think the Wildlife Hub is planning to do something, and I want the hubs to partner with other hubs. So like Sude, maybe some of these things, the Turkish hub can, and the Spanish hub, if they don't do their own thing, they could partner. So this is all stuff that can happen. It's whatever kids want. And again, there's no pressure. I know in many hubs we don't have a lot of teams right now, so there's no need to even do anything. So it's really, this is just a project for people that are interested. Okay, let's see. Carolina, the Climate Hub, Maura, have you guys talked about the Metaverse Prize? Because you guys could partner with the Hunger Hub. And Rania, have you talked about your ideas with Leah and Becca?
Oh, my Grow Your Own Garden Kit idea or the
Metaverse Prize idea?
I've mentioned it, but I haven't like gone into detail about it.
Okay.
For the climate change hub, we talked a little bit about the Metaverse Prize. I think it was like we had an idea of having like the the earth, and then you could click on different parts of the earth and like learn about how climate change is like affecting that area or something. We haven't really talked much about it.
It's early, so I don't expect you guys to
Yeah.
be having a lot of okay. And I know, Alan, you've been out, but I want to give everybody a chance to speak. Alan or Carolyn?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yep.
Alan, do you have any thoughts?
I'll think about it. I'll definitely look into it and see if it's reasonable for us right now.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe there could be like the implicit bias workshop could be
Mhm.
in one of like the Collab Cafe. We have a cafe. So
Mhm.
I'd like to suggest that we all soon leave this Zoom room and go into the Metaverse room and check it out and talk in there as avatars. Can we do the last 8 minutes of our meeting there?
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
Did Leah, everybody okay with that? Okay, so, oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't have anything to say.
Okay, so here is all you do, if you've never been in this room, you just go in and you use your arrows to go straight and back, and then there's a little instructions on the right as you go in, but you can use the Q and E letters to go left and right. So why don't we meet in there, and I will put the chat. I will stop sharing and put the chat in there. So you can go in and then you can leave this room. And Siddharth, I'm so glad you joined us, and I hope that you will come into our hubs and share your thoughts there. But if you have anything you want to add, we can talk as an avatar in the room.
Thank you. It was very interesting, and I look forward for new meetings.
Great, great. We're super excited you're here. Okay, so let's all go into the rooms now, and I'll close down this room. Okay, so we have 8 people in here. Yay. Okay, can you hear me?